तू तो मतलब एकदम एथनिक एंड वाइट और मैं एकदम वेस्टर्न और ब्लैक, मतलब लिटरली एकदम
I'm gonna give
ये
the I'm gonna give the Eastern opinion on this show because
and I'm gonna give gentrified.
oh, whitewashed.
हाँ.
Wow. Podcast movie review with my bestie Kee and you.
So
We're back.
we're back, and which show broke our streak? क्या? Not streak. Which
Writer's block.
drought. ये पार्ट को कट करेंगे हम. Which
फिर से 3, 2, 1, action. We're back.
So we're back. And which show broke our no podcast drought?
Nobody wants this.
Nobody wants this.
Hmm.
Is a very ironical name for the show, which we are using to end our drought with. But
Nobody
yeah,
wants this. Is this an indication? Nobody wants this podcast.
I want this.
I want
So
it. I want it too.
yeah,
Yes. It actually reminded me that I want this.
yeah. And also the fact that nobody wants this has two sisters running a podcast. So that was like, hello. I was
Hello. Yeah,
much
that's true. That's
good
true.
to get
Yeah,
back.
the added advantage of being in the same room, which sucks. But
Yeah.
one day.
But also like this is also cool from London and Seattle.
Oh,
We are we are throwing opinions
oh,
connected from all over the world.
rainier,
I,
rainier.
I love that view. I miss it. But I can't show you a view right now because it's midnight.
That makes sense.
Next show, you will do midnight and I'll show you the view of the
Done.
shard from my home.
Done. How did you find this show? Like why did you pick this show?
Yeah, so I just saw like people reacting very well to it,
Very bad to
and
it.
very well to it,
Very well.
and I actually thought it's a movie. So I started it thinking it's a 2 hour movie done and dusted, and then I saw it's like 10 episodes, and I was like, अरे इसकी तो commitment नहीं है मेरे पास देने को 10 एपिसोड देने की commitment नहीं है मेरे पास.
Amen.
And
I know this is also, this is also the show that broke my rewatching
ah.
streak. Like I am currently I've just been rewatching old stuff because वही commitment time नहीं है.
Yeah, and predictability, दिमाग नहीं लगाना,
हाँ.
and all
So
that.
after a very long time I've picked something new and I finished it.
Yeah,
It's rare.
and and actually I just saw that the episodes were really small, so I was like, ठीक है, ये तो one sitting में खत्म हो जाएगा. It's like as big as a movie only, just a little
Yeah,
bit
yeah,
long
we are.
because of how small the episodes are.
I don't feel
And
guilty
like,
for finishing it also इसलिए.
yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
And the first thing that I said it to sell it to you and to others was that it's a Jewish version of Fleabag.
Yeah, I actually have a contention to that statement, but yeah.
That's for the later?
Do you want to get into it, Avi?
Yeah,
I
I can.
I think yes. I could see why you felt it that way. What scene exactly do you think? Uh,
Yeah, so there are few scenes. Right in the beginning, I was like, "Oh, ये तो वही है." Not in a bad way. Like, "Oh wow, finally something that is like that." Because
hmm.
Fleabag was so rare, and I wanted to watch stuff like that.
Hmm.
And like the initial scenes where the moment she thinks somebody else is the rabbi, and the moment she finds out that the guy she was interested in is the rabbi, and she's
Hmm.
like, उसका her interest level just go because the forbidden fruit obviously
Hmm.
was the same thing with Fleabag. Like she knew she was getting involved with a priest, so
Hmm.
that was even with this person she knew that
Hmm.
that's why she was asking questions to him, can you do this, can you do that, and she knew that this is a dangerous territory, but the moment that was the charm of it.
For some reason, these shows also kind of make the forbidden fruit really hot. Like I wanted to show a screenshot of that scene, but apparently copyright issue. Netflix does not let you take a screenshot, which is
Oh
like,
yeah, it doesn't. This is
um.
so annoying.
But there's this scene when she says, "Are you? You are the rabbi?" And he's like smoking a cigarette and like ऐसा
Yeah,
Um,
he's like, I'm the cool rabbi. And
yeah,
it's
I'm.
exactly like,
Yeah, he was also smoking a cigarette
yeah,
outside.
and he was also like, I'm a cool priest,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah. That was definitely similar, but I felt like nothing else was.
No, no, there's so much like they both have both the female leads have like major parent issues because of messed up parent relations. And I can't recall. There were a few more similarities I noticed. Like
Okay.
both the female leads are
Hmm.
they are very commitment phobic in a way. Not exactly, but like emotionally they would not invest, and they are very cynical because of XYZ reasons.
Hmm.
And they're also very incendiary. Like they will not hold back from saying the most offensive.
That's true. I see it, but I feel like maybe.
And also because they're sisters in both the shows.
Hmm.
So there are a few things.
I hear you, but I definitely I didn't make those comparisons. Mainly, why it didn't feel very similar was probably what's different between like British cinema versus American cinema.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Whole series had a very upbeat vibe to it. Like Fleabag first season
Yeah.
was downtrodden, like
It was very
very
dark,
dark.
yeah.
And she definitely has a broken family, but they're trying to be supportive. Like her mom is always around for the podcast. And
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
even
of
even though
course.
the
That
guy's dad is gay, he's still trying to make the equation work and be there in whatever capacity. The sister is really supportive and shows up like they have something together.
yeah.
That may she was like almost very
All alone.
existential,
Yeah.
all alone. Like she was very lonely and uh,
Yeah, there was no family support whatsoever.
so in that
That sense
light,
it is different, of course.
yeah, that in that vein, the forbidden fruit felt like a very welcome like he saw her where nobody else that usually
Exactly.
is
Yeah.
supposed to see you. That is what like made Fleabag that it was how do you feel seen in any relationship? That is why like I always find Fleabag to be something that is a female like all my female friends like you and I have discussed a lot about it. Uh, how we want to be in relationships. I've never seen a man recommend that show. I've
Oh
never
yeah.
seen a man recommend it, and maybe they should watch it to
Course,
realize.
and it's like that show is written from the female gaze, and most of
Yeah.
the media and content these days is not from the female gaze, but and whenever they are from the female gaze also, it's very like new territory, so it's like it's withheld, but Fleabag was like all out
Yeah,
female gaze completely.
bad shit crazy. That's
And it
true.
is definitely the kind of show that would make men uncomfortable because not all men, but it would, because that's not how. On the first watch, people would consider Fleabag to be like feminist and all, but to be honest, it equally critiques women.
Yeah, that's true.
Not go easy on women either, and what women do to others and to each other. It
Yeah.
goes it holds no punches on anybody. So it's actually a pretty good watch for everyone. It's just that men are not used to seeing that women POV which
Hmm.
is there in Fleabag, so it is a bit of an uncomfortable watch from for them. But I made my brother watch it, and he liked it. So I think this is a good show to sow the seeds into
Yeah,
young boys.
that's
I mean, there's a lot of content that young boys consume at a young age that sows the seeds for a lot of wrong things. So why not the other things as well?
that's true. That's true. I also actually that brings me to the right like does not spare either gender wala thing. Um, brings me to what I noticed in Nobody Wants This.
Yeah,
The
yeah, that
women,
is also
the women in the show, they're so intimidating and
traditional.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Like this whole thing that I don't know if you heard the stereotype about Jews, but they're really, really hardworking people and very, very wealthy. Like they're people of means around the world. That's also probably how they survived all the exodus and
Everything that
thing
their
that was
culture has
yeah
had
for
to
them.
deal with.
And I don't like my introduction to or any knowledge about their culture is through cinema. Before this, I saw New Girl. Mein, if you've seen that series, usme Schmidt was Jew.
Yeah,
It was like
right.
it was not really religious angle
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
on there. So all I knew was like how they do the chair thing in weddings
Oh,
and
yeah, exactly. The bar mitzvah and all of that.
yeah,
Very intermittent.
yeah, and
Oh,
so
my introduction to Jews was through Mrs. Marvelous.
oh yes, oh yes,
Yeah,
Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. She's also Jewish. Yes, yes.
Marvelous Maisel, yeah, and her entire family, and even in that they deal with the stereotypes had they're the reason they have that survival instinct in them as a people,
Hmm.
and that is something that any minority can understand. There is a cultural, there's a clan mentality always
Hmm.
preserve that thing, and that's the basis behind it.
Yeah, that's what made me question like whether is your culture that important and does that play a role in your success in life or in your career? Because for sure it does provide a sense of community and offers you out and out from being alone. And the woman. I feel like um, there is a tendency of women to go after each other and
Oh,
like
definitely. And that
yeah.
was shown very well in Nobody Wants This also. Just like even in Fleabag, her sister goes after her for what
Hmm.
her husband did. So
Yeah,
in both the shows, they showed very well that it is not a guy problem. Women also go after the woman.
this is a very grave problem that I wish I could tell to every girl who is not a girl's girl. Like, this is not, this is why we lose out on that big promotion or that degree or that job that you wanted because you don't want to
There's a
support.
big scarcity mindset, yeah.
Yeah.
And the way you hold yourself back, you see other women not holding themselves back, and there's an instinct to go after that. That
Yeah,
oh
instead of in getting inspired and do
yeah,
that yourself, like I see a lot of bringing, not a lot, but like I do see it, and that breaks my heart. Like I feel like I wish we could find it within ourselves to be happy
for each other, yeah.
for each other, and like all my girlfriends definitely are that. Uh, yeah, so that's how I choose my people also. But I wish I could educate and yeah, so I'm actually very interested. I have one of my coworkers is Jewish, I recently found out, and I want to ask him if he's
Oh,
dating a Jewish girl or not.
because nobody wants that. Also, has that element of they actually introduce so many aspects of uh, Judaism to like people like us who did not know about it because
Mhm.
it's a minority, so their culture is not that well represented in pop culture. So it was cool to find out about all of that as well.
True. That was very cool. Fun fact that I found out, if you see like a Jewish wedding, there is this culture of like they break a bottle, a glass bottle. But now,
Yeah.
because they want to spread the kaach, what they do now is they'll wrap it in a cloth and they'll stomp on it so that it breaks.
Oh.
And that's a tradition. Apparently, what it signifies is that the love should last for as long as it takes to join all the pieces of the bottle together. So the
Oh,
aim is to
wow.
break it to like ekdam powder. So it takes forever. It is so
That's so
sweet,
cute.
huh? I found it,
Yeah.
yeah. That's also perk of living abroad. You get to
Yeah.
meet people of other cultures. And I
Oh,
was
yeah.
educating them about traditions in Indian weddings, and they were laughing.
There
Yeah.
are too many. मुझे खुद नहीं पता. Like, I
Uh,
myself don't know
I just told them
everything.
about Juta Churai, and they were like, wow, a lot of mischief involved when it comes, and extortion. I want to talk about the sibling equations.
Oh,
There are
yeah.
two sets of siblings. and that like kind of reminded me of my brother. It's a same gender, same gender. Uh,
Yeah,
Sasha was the elder sibling.
you're right. Which it didn't seem like that.
I do not like this brand. Why
Yeah,
did
he's
they
that one of those rare
do
elder siblings who are like, they just, are you sure that? Achha, yeah, yeah, he
Hmm.
was. Like, I'm still in doubt. Is he? How? Yeah, it's okay. Sometimes elder siblings do get screwed over so badly that.
I got actually existential after watching this. I was like, ये concept भी है. Who is the loser sibling in our equation? और मुझे
No,
लगने
I can imagine. I can imagine in our personal, I don't think. I think this is in the Indian culture has ensured that there is no loser sibling. So this is a more of a Western thing, I think, where
saying this to
everybody goes
yourself,
on their
or
own. Hmm?
are you saying this to yourself, or
I feel like because my brother is starting to become so cool now that
है ना?
maybe I
Same,
might be the loser sibling. So I don't want to
same.
face that
मुझे थोड़ा
possible.
existentially वो हुआ उससे कि भाई fuck ये
There
भी
are no loser siblings in India, bro. Because our parents pressurized all of us, so none of us are becoming losers.
that's true. Um, but I really liked was actually Sasha and Morgan, the younger
Oh
sister,
yeah.
उनका equation. I feel like it was very precious. I'm just hoping it doesn't turn into a sexual or a
I think it's gonna go into a gray area.
no. I feel like it's
Yeah.
supposed to
But
be
also I feel like
better.
I don't mind it. I know I don't think he'll cheat on his wife, but
Mm.
I don't think their equation is like that good.
But that
The
was the
husband
whole
wives.
point of his wife's brand. Like she was supposed to be like out in your face and a little aggressive, but I think it works for both of them. I didn't.
Yeah, it definitely does work for both of them.
Hmm.
I felt there was definitely more chemistry between the loser siblings. So,
I don't want it to be chemistry. I want it to be like just friends.
yeah, it is possible that they would just go get very close to the gray area and then they would exercise their
Judgment and moral.
judgment, better judgment, their restraint and their brains and retract, which is very much possible,
Mm.
which a lot of people don't realize it is possible.
Hmm.
That would be a good this thing because there is possibility uh to breach that gray area, but it'll be nice if they don't breach it if they
Hmm.
show them not doing that.
Yeah, at least like their other siblings are not showing any constraint. Like they were gray from the beginning.
Yeah.
The first thing the rabbi asks is whether she's Jewish or
Yeah,
not.
he's like that's what that's why I find like they both knew it instantly. Like they both were he was also asking what all he can do, you
Yeah,
know. So they were both.
and he questions his faith and will he leave it all if he will ever consider leaving it all behind. And that's where it ends also ultimately. Like,
Yeah,
oh.
yeah.
Also, it does feel like for the girl, for the girl's perspective, it feels like a nice thing because she's like into the dating market and she's been like going around and meeting people and it feels like a refresh experience. But for the boy, I don't know. I felt like it was too soon. Everything was happening too
Oh,
soon, too
exactly.
fast.
I was gonna get to that. Like, if you have been, I don't know,
A 3 year
I would
long
find
relationship.
3 years if
Yeah,
you were
and about
dating
like
somebody.
you bought a ring.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and if it takes you, if you are able to bounce back from that so quickly, I would definitely get the ick from that. Like,
You know,
I would find that very sus.
it
I
was
would be like,
actually I
not
don't
in the. I was just like, how could you invest yourself or be into a 3 year thing and bounce back from that so quickly? It doesn't seem humanly possible.
know.
That was definitely very weird for me about.
And it's also the way a story is told. Now, I feel like sometimes uh, premise is set in such a rush because what they want to explore in the show is what comes after that.
Yeah. No,
Um,
but I also
but
understand
you have to
that
buy
this,
that rush also. Like I was not
yeah,
buying it. I was questioning. So I did
yeah,
not like that also like kind of hampered the charm of the rabbi more
a
than
little bit.
the
Yeah.
priest.
The
Like
fact that he
I
was
was
able to
not I
bounce
was
back
not
so
attracted to the
quickly.
rabbi at all. I did not see what she was seeing in him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did
I
see.
feel like I just ignored that thing
Mm.
as a writing flaw
Yeah,
or
yeah.
as a writing discretion that they took, and just it did not seem on character also for somebody like the rabbi who was like that kind of a person as he is shown to be, so
Hmm.
thoughtful, so
Yeah,
into it, so committed in any way. He
yeah.
is not the kind of person who would bounce back so quickly from a relationship. Even if it was not good, he would not be able to bounce back from it that quickly.
That's true.
So I just somehow ignored that as a writing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is also my point number two of why this is not as good as Fleabag, or
Oh
it
yeah,
doesn't
it's not
match.
as good as I have no one to say that, but at least yeah, definitely
For
they
me,
were.
for me, yeah.
Fleabag was for me as well, but Fleabag was a much more, of course, was much better. I
Hmm.
felt like this was somewhere in that territory.
Hmm.
Was
Hmm.
in that territory because it was questioning these dynamics of relationships and what women want versus what they get, and women hurting each other and all of that. So it was in that territory. And like I really
It
like
was
the
also
initial scene because it also showed that the girl, like she of course violated his privacy by sh
well,
getting, she knew that he had it for months, so she saw it way back.
yes, yes, that was
That was exactly, so that was a very good scene in the sense that it showed that there is issues on both sides. They are both and like he said that it was people around them who kept projecting onto them that they are a great match. He's a rabbi, she's a Jewish girl who's very well educated, and
hmm.
all of that. It was people around them who kept telling them that they were perfect, and it impacted their own perception of the relationship until that boiling point came and he
Hmm.
realized that it's not gonna be.
Yeah, I actually questioned it till the very end. I felt like I kept questioning it because
Yeah,
uh,
questioning what?
whether this is not just one like hot distraction. Uh,
Really?
yeah,
Not me.
I don't know. Uh, for both of them, not just for the guy, because her take on religion and ultimately what
Yeah,
she says in the end that she's just doing it for him, and how casually she's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna become a Jew."
exactly.
All of that felt like,
No, that thing is exactly why I knew it's not a distraction for her, because you wouldn't convert. Even if it's a distraction, you wouldn't do something that
oh,
big, you know?
no, no, but the
Even if
nature
it's
of the relation,
meaningless, it's still a step.
it felt like very hot and quick and
Oh, yeah.
that way, like it was a very fast relationship.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe that's how it happens, or I don't know.
Yeah, so that's what it made me think as well, that, they both instantly had a rapport, and
Mm,
instantly they had a to and fro, and
exactly.
their intentions and their thoughts were very clear to both of them. Like, sometimes you just have this understanding with somebody, and maybe if there's a click, it is that instant,
Mm.
who knows.
But I didn't feel the click as a third person. I
Oh,
don't know
really?
why. I felt the click for Fleabag. I didn't feel the click here. Uh,
I think it's because of that. If they had shown at least a gap of 2, 3 months,
mm,
between the relationship,
maybe
his previous relationship, then that would have made sense.
actually, there was no context to what were their lives before they met each other.
Right.
It was
It was
rushed.
just a very instant that, oh, she had a couple of bad dates and he came out of a bad relationship.
Yeah, yeah. They didn't dwell, the storytelling didn't dwell on the past. That is why I didn't buy
Yeah, I
the.
think maybe that was unnecessary also. I feel like that 3 year relationship was not needed.
Actually,
It did not add anything to the story. Like,
that's true.
yeah, his mother and his sister-in-law, they were all hounding him for being with a shiksa and being with somebody out of faith. But that would have been true even if that other
Mhm.
relationship was not there, you know? Or if that other relationship was like 2, 3 months, just 2, 3 months, and everybody would be very excited because it was a perfect match, and then he would be like, no. That
Mm.
would have been made more sense than, him being into it for 3 years.
That's true. Wow, we can be writers. Mm. Yeah, I
No,
felt
but
like.
I did want to talk about that first interaction that they had,
Hmm.
and that they were being so refreshingly honest. Like that was a very good scene, I felt. I don't know, maybe you did not feel the click, so maybe it wasn't the same for you.
But
But
I
I
felt
felt
like
like
the chemistry was there for sure. I felt
that
like.
scene was so succinct, and like what they were asking each other and what they were replying to each other was reflecting that situation so well.
That's true. I,
And when he ends that conversation with, "You really helped me with something tonight." It was that she helped him move on in
Mm.
his mind, right? So that was also so sweet. Like nothing more. It's just you helped me with something tonight. And
Right. I feel like this is a tip again for especially brown boys. That yeah, you take time, even though this was like a rushed whatever storyline, blah blah blah. But there's a way to flirt. There's a way to approach a girl. Like, don't let your intentions become so evident in the first 5 seconds of a conversation. That was such a healthy banter, such a witty back and forth of comments,
yeah,
and with no expectation of anything
just
happening by the
enjoying
end.
the conversation, just
Yeah,
enjoying the company.
yeah.
End of story.
But the intention was there. It's not like the intention was not there because
Yeah,
I followed up with the host, and that is fine.
the
Like that's
intention was there, but it didn't take away from, they still were able to have healthy banter and healthy communication in spite of there being intentions.
exactly that is
That's what a
perfect.
lot of people are not able to do.
Yeah, I feel like people rush in to figure out what the girl's intention is, and they get so dejected if it's not there or if it's not what they want, that they will not try. Like that's the problem with the. This has become really not about the series,
I
but
didn't even think about.
an example, and it's the expectations that women have. I think it's a very achievable expectation to have. It's not.
It's an expectation that can you just be normal? Like,
Ah,
can you just be normal and have a normal conversation that's like
yes.
engaging and add some value? Like, is memorable in at least one or two ways.
Mm. True, that's honest. Uh, that's not much to
Like,
ask.
just
It's too
be
hard.
normal. Not too much to ask. Just be like slightly charming, slightly, not a lot, just a little bit.
Be self-assured. I think that is also missing. Like,
Yeah,
what if
that's
we,
true actually. Don't
or,
be so worried about
mm,
uh, projecting a certain perception. Just be
and
yourself.
wanting to be liked or
Yeah,
um,
just enjoy the conversation.
mm, true, true. Yeah, exactly. They show it in that scene also when he wants to be liked and he for the parents and
Oh yeah, and then his charm is completely gone.
I felt unattracted towards him. I felt like, what
Exactly.
happened to you? So it's not a thing about culture or like uh,
Yeah.
the Westerners know how to do it. It's just basic human
Yeah, the
tendency.
moment he tried to impress her parents and everything, his natural charm and everything just disappeared, and he became weird suddenly. So that's what happens if you are trying to manipulate or come across as something instead of just being yourself.
Desperation is unattractive.
Yeah, and he showed it in that
Yes.
scene, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and that maybe is also a lesson that people have a flip side. Desperate people might be charming too if we give them a chance. No.
It's not.
So,
It's a phase, no? I think.
true. Actually, it's a phase, definitely. Yeah, I hope people get out of this phase as quick as they can, and
Yeah.
it
And
doesn't.
it's all about perception also. Just like if you just chill, you're not gonna be desperate, you know.
Hmm.
Just chill.
Now we can do the scene breakdown, huh? Or
Yeah.
we continue like other things that you
Right,
have.
right, right, right. That's it.
Oh, yes. I wanted to talk about. I think that's what's going like around on the apps, social media apps, and all. That kiss scene. I'm very interested in finding out if it did things for you, Mademoiselle.
I mean, because I watch K-dramas a lot, so I find a lot of aesthetic differences between K-drama scenes and Western scenes, and this is like literally a meme as well.
Hmm.
That
Huh.
when you watch Western shows after K-dramas, you're like, oh, oh. But this was one of those rare scenes that was not in the oh category. Like
Oh, I.
it was well shot,
Oh.
and it was tasteful, and it was tasteful, yet it did things for everybody. So that can be done, which is something that Western shows apparently don't know, that you can get things done for people without
Hmm.
being tasteless.
Yes. I felt like for me, it was not the like definitely it was a very hot kiss and I don't know, yeah, like as a child, my first kiss that did things for me was the Spider-Man kiss. In because we went from school and you saw it on the theater and
Hmm.
I don't know, it was such a forbidden thing in like Indian households. You whenever such a scene comes in movies, your parents are like, or where's the remote? Or like some random talk starts happening because it's such a uh, not like sexuality or sexual stuff is not very publicly discussed in our repressed society. So it always, as a kid, made excited me as it's a forbidden thing that I'm not supposed to see. And as an adult, I've outgrown that feeling because now I can see whatever. But what worked for me was the retelling of the kiss and how she goes back home to her friends, to her sister in this scene, and like what worked for her, like the right details, like what I would have done if I was in her position. She did the
Ah,
right, the, and this
okay.
reminded me of that Ross and Rachel kiss in Friends. And how Monica like goes around to bring like wine glasses and like this has to become a thing now that we discuss for the night.
Oh,
So I felt like female friendship plus also because we thought trash talked about females. I want to like recover.
yeah, right. Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah. Like our
There's a
strength.
lot of oversharing between female friends,
Yes, yes.
and there should be. It's
The right
nice.
amount of sharing it is. It's not over. A man came up with this term, overshare.
I'm pretty sure. No,
Hmm.
but actually, funnily enough for me, that was the cringe part. Like when she goes back and she you should have seen this coming. Like I was like, okay, okay. It was nice, it was great, but
Yes.
hold your horses. It was not that much also that and when she wrote that joke, the moment she sat in the car, I was like, bro, no, no, don't do that.
What
Like when
joke?
she texted him the joke,
Uh-huh.
it was like, bro, play it cool, please,
Uh-huh.
please. I was having second hand cringe on that.
Ah, got it,
That
got
is
it.
too soon. Yeah.
That's the difference
Like
between
मर्दों को इतनी
the
इम्पोर्टेंस भी नहीं देनी चाहिए जितना उसने वापस आके शेयरिंग की. About the scene in particular, what a lot of people liked about it is that how decisive the guy is.
That's true. Oof,
Like
yes.
that's the thing that's lacking today, the decisiveness in
Decisive,
people.
but also not overbearing or like
Exactly.
doing it at the
Exactly.
expense
Just
of
the right
your
amount of decisive.
taking charge.
Taking charge, exactly.
Yeah. While not walking over you or like, not considering your.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. You also wanted to talk something about the sibling relationship, no? The girls.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, so what I loved about their relationship was that the moment there was any crisis where Joanne had to call Morgan, she wouldn't even think twice. She would call her right away,
Hmm.
and and Morgan wouldn't think twice either. It was always no questions asked.
Hmm.
Morgan would cringe, roll her eyes like, "What, what are you doing?" And then she would still turn up, and
Yeah,
she
that's
would
how siblings
actually
are.
help fix situations.
Hmm.
Like she was her personal fixer. That was so sweet to see.
And that too in person, like living in the same city. How privileged.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
Like she could just turn up to her situations and help fix them from. But also the fact that they got into such serious conflict.
Because of the
Uh,
misunderstanding, yeah. I felt
yeah,
I felt actually that brings me to what I wanted to talk about, which is getting into your own head. And that these girls did a lot.
oh yeah.
Um,
More
either it
than these girls, I think Joanne, because Morgan was
yeah.
always like this and this. This is how
Hmm.
it is. This is how it is. It was just Joanne who was being,
But that was relatable.
yeah, maybe.
That was very relatable. It was stupid, but I do it all the time. And when I see somebody else doing it, I was like, okay, this is not good. And maybe it's something that needs to uh, you need to like put breaks in it. I was talking to my therapist the other day, and she there's a term for it. It's called thinking traps.
Oh
That
yeah,
you kind of already know the outcome of. You'll try
a
to
certain
judge
situation.
or
Yeah,
speculate the
and then you try
outcome.
to proactively protect yourself from it.
Exactly, like for example, this promotion, it's not going to happen, and if it's not going to happen, then is it worth working extra? And then that's a trap that you kind of get into,
Set
and
yourself in.
yeah, that goes against, it actually goes against her Joanne's personality, or how she was written, like strong-headed and blah blah. In her personal life, she's a mess, but in her professional life, she did like take
No,
a
but it
lot of
also spills over. That's why she is so ready to be like, oh, this is not gonna work. Cutting those losses ASAP.
Hmm.
And she doesn't want to see herself getting flown by into situations where she knows that they are not going to turn up well. That's the thing about the sibling relationship that I like the portrayal of it. Like truly, she's in the beginning she said she's my best friend and my worst enemy. So
Hmm.
that is so accurately portrayed in the show as well. That if they would fight, they would fight like nobody and accuse like nobody, and then they would
Yeah,
help.
become
They would make
absolutely
up so
mean.
quickly.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And that's how it should be, actually, I feel. Uh,
Yeah, of course.
hmm.
Not the fighting bit, but the other part.
Yeah, the other part is important. Making up
Yeah.
is important. You rarely ever like connect to people. Uh,
But what other scenes that I wanted to discuss was like there are so many scenes where she like we said she gets into her head and she just retracts, and then he's the one who reads the
yeah.
room very succinctly, very quickly, and responds and reassures very proactively. Like
Hmm.
not being that typical laid back partner who is like not even aware half the time what is going on in their partner's head. Like he's very much present.
Hmm, that's true. That's very, yeah, actually, that was very attractive about him. I feel like that is a brilliant pairing also in that sense, like an overthinker with a person who's
Over
very
understander.
over, yeah, over right here, right now. And
Yeah, and
mm,
that was that is something that's a very important quality which is not portrayed in as a attractive quality in shows and movies these days.
mm,
Like how the way it was uh, portrayed in this show, like repeatedly they had these situations where something gets into her head, like when she
mm,
went to the camp with him and she hears the talk of those girls,
mm.
teenage girls, and she's like, what the fuck am I doing here? And she just gets out of there
I
and he
feel like
understands.
that was the right thing to do. Like she did
Yeah,
everything.
she did the right thing, and
Yeah.
that's he also did the right thing by getting out of there, and he
Going
did
after
that.
her.
damage control very quickly. That's
True.
the important thing. People don't do damage control. They let things
Get
just flow
worse.
under the bridge, and you have to proactively keep doing damage control. And that's what
Great.
was shown in the show. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there's a tendency also of in a relationship, like if somebody fucks up or messes up, an unhealthy one, the person will try to like do it back to you, and that's the difference between like a healthy and a unhealthy
Yeah.
relationship.
Or
Like
also when it's not just always doing something back, but also just being like, I did, and knowing something but not doing anything
doing
about
anything
it.
about it, yeah, being passive and not trying to
Exactly.
actively solve the situation is also
Exactly.
yes. True, 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 true. What this is welcome to the part of red. What is a red flag? What is a good green flag?
Yeah. And the funny part was that she was the one who had nothing to lose from the relationship. Like she was the one with no proper family, no religion. So
Hmm.
she could easily date anybody literally, and it would not crumble her life at all. He was the one who was
Hmm.
from a religious, not just a very religious background, but a religious,
Especially, yeah.
professional religious person, and he was the one with more to lose from this relationship, yet he was the one who was actively
Hmm.
damage
See.
controlling and
Hmm.
uh, fixing things.
Yeah, that actually the culmination of the season one that he comes back after her and possibly like wanting to risk it all.
That's where it takes the other turn from the Fleabag. That's what I
Yeah.
liked the most. That
Oh yes.
here,
Oh
this is
yes.
where it goes into the other direction, where he relinquishes his, because in Fleabag he chooses his faith, right?
Hmm.
And here he's like, no.
Hmm. Actually, I like it more now. No, no, I don't like it more. I like
I think it's apples and
decision.
oranges.
I like his decision more. Yeah. It'll be it will
I
I'll
would have preferred
definitely
the priest to also choose Fleabag, obviously.
yeah, I'm dying for that to happen. You saw that video at a Taylor Swift concert, both of the
Oh
actors
yeah,
there,
oh,
and I was
oh,
like, oh, this
alternate universe.
could have been you. But the ending definitely makes me want to wait for season two.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
also, like, I really like that that whole transition they had from she was like, yeah, I'll convert. How does it matter? It's not like, and her friends were making fun of her. Like, it's not like you have any strong opinions on what God
Ah.
is or anything. She was like, yeah, I'll convert. And then she understands through that scene and everything where she's at the bar mitzvah that
Hmm.
it's it's not a child's play.
Hmm.
And there's that she tells him, he gets so happy and he gets so flown. That's where I cringed a bit, like when he was like, I'm going to teach you this language and all of that. That's where I was like, oh, you are being a bit overbearing in this
Yes.
aspect. Oh, you're excited, but
Hmm.
uh you have to
Hold
be
it
calm.
back.
Yeah, you have to hold it because it is a big change for another person.
Yeah, yeah,
But
you definitely did like overwhelm her in that situation.
exactly.
The
But
whole thing, like
but
his
that
brother
was,
called it out also, like, what are you doing 2 months in and you're asking her to convert, which
yeah,
is
that was weird, but like he was just, I think in his mind somewhere he knew that this is it and he was just going according to that. But that's not a trigger. She just understands that all of this is bigger, and converting just for the sake of it is not a good thing. So I really liked how that was shown as well, that she changes her decision, and
hmm,
then he also,
hmm, reconsiders. Yes.
yeah.
Okay, that brings us to the closure of this episode. It will take a million years to edit this.
No, there's no editing in this one. We did it pretty well.
Sure.
Yeah, I think this can go like with minimal.
Raw. Let's do
Uh,
it. I will still add the jingle.
yeah, of course.
Hmm. Chalo, okay, I have to go now. I have a temple. I have to come to
Have
a
to sleep.
Hindu temple, not a Jewish temple. Sorry.
Bye, Dashera. Happy Dashera.
Shara.